Okay, so now we're here in the one of the most important parts of doing phenomenological research. Um, Once you already have the data transcribed and ready, it's now time for data analysis. No? How do we analyze data uh, in phenomenological research? So this is actually a comprehensive guide, for social sciences. And since we are doing this virtually, we'll just have here a step-by-step guide on how you will analyze your data. Considering that you have a very rich data, remember that all the interviews, participant observations, and your if you have field observations are all being transcribed, okay, and all written down. So here our agenda is first what are the steps in phenomenological data analysis, and using software tools for qualitative analysis because it is available. You just have to pay a certain amount, and then ensuring rigor and trustworthiness in your analysis. Now, how do we maintain rigor and trustworthiness in your data analysis? So, data analysis in phenomenological research is like with other research methods, is a very meticulous process. So, it involves uncovering the essence of the participants' lived experiences. Now, remember essence. No? Now, this discussion will cover the essential steps in phenomenological data analysis. Okay, so how do we do that? Here are the steps. Steps in phenomenological data analysis. First is bracketing. Now, if you remember in our first presentation, we mentioned of life world, we mentioned with epoch, and in epoch that there is bracketing. So what's in bracketing? So uh, bracketing is, before analyzing the data, the researchers should engage in what we call in phenomenological research as bracketing. Now, this is the setting aside of our preconceived notions and biases about the phenomenon. Now, because we too may have experienced the phenomenon, or we know something about the phenomenon, but um, that does not matter in this research. No? What matters here are the subjective experiences of the participants who have directly experienced the phenomenon. No? So we have to set aside our preconceived notions and biases. Now, this helps to approach the data with fresh eyes and avoid imposing interpretations that are not grounded in participants' experience. So with that, in phenomenological research, uh, data should be coming from the participants' experiences. That's why it's very important to separate our biases and notions. No? You call that in phenomenological research as bracketing. And this part of the data analysis should be written, in your methodology, so that it is clear with the readers, it is clear with the reviewers when you publish your paper, that you have really identified your biases, and your preconceived notions. Then after bracketing, you have to read and reread, because you have a very voluminous and overwhelming data. And that's why qualitative research at times is very difficult, and it takes time because of the data analysis, especially in phenomenological research. The first step involves immersing yourself in the data. So you know the word immerse, no? Immerse yourself with the data, by reading and rereading the transcripts or field notes. So not only reading, not once, but rereading the transcripts. Because there are some data that you cannot comprehend with one reading alone. There might be new data that will come to you after rereading, a different kind of understanding, perhaps a different kind of context. That's why it's very important to read and reread. Now, this allows you to become familiar with the content and to begin identifying significant statements or phrases that capture key aspects of the participant experiences. So, when reading and rereading, you can already identify, the phrases. Now, later on, when you write, you can just go back to those direct quotations. And then after the reading and rereading, you proceed with the initial coding. So begin the coding process by highlighting significant statements, phrases, or sections that relate to the research question. Also, transcripts of your interviews and even in the field notes, you highlight significant statements, phrases, or sections that relate to the research question. Now, these codes should reflect the essence of what the participants are describing in their experiences. No? So you highlight, no? You highlight. So then after highlighting these several codes, these phrases, then you develop the themes. No? So how do you develop the themes? You group the codes. Yeah, traditionally you cut those quotations. No? You group the codes into broader themes that capture the core aspects of the phenomenon. No? Since you've already highlighted the codes, the phrases, you group them, to several themes, that would capture the core aspects of the phenomenon. Now, these themes should represent the essence of participants' experiences, and these themes should help in answering your research question. This theme should help in answering your research question. Example, themes from the study of immigrant women might include navigating legal uncertainties, isolation and fear, resilience, and coping strategies. No? So from the initial coding, and going back, you have first you develop you read and reread, and then you highlight the phrases, the statements, and then from those highlighted, you develop the themes. So you group these codes, and you name, you write, what theme is this? This group of codes, what theme is this? This group of codes, what theme is this? But of course, you cannot do that if you are not immersed into all the data. Then afterwards, you have a textual and a structural description. You create a detailed textual description of what the participants experience, followed by a structural description of how they experience it. Now, this involves exploring the context and conditions that influence their experience. So, from the themes, you describe, how they experience the phenomenon. So, you have the themes there. Now, from the themes, you write a description. You describe what and how the participants experience the phenomenon, following your developed themes. And then, after doing that, you synthesize it with meanings and essences. So you create now a coherent narrative, reflecting the shared experiences. Now, those themes does not come only from one participant. The codes are coming from the different transcripts. So, meaning all those themes, all the codes that you have stuck together in one thing, does not came only from a single participant, but these are shared experiences. Now, you have to synthesize. You create a coherent narrative reflecting these shared experiences. Of course, in creating this, you have to follow the themes. You write it in a way that you have followed the structure of the themes. So these are the steps, in phenomenological data analysis. Easy to say, but it's really, it's hard to do, because this is a very tedious kind of data analysis. Just even the reading and rereading, the second step, is already very tedious. Knowing that you have here a voluminous data, you might be overwhelmed, by the data that is there. and even bracketing, by identifying your biases. And this could not be done overnight. This could not be done overnight. That's why qualitative research, or especially phenomenological research, will give you in-depth description, of what really happened, because this is very textual and very descriptive, in nature. So these are the steps in phenomenological data analysis. Now you might want to use also software. Although I'm not familiar with this softwares, but I don't use softwares kasi, I still use the traditional way of coding and creating themes. So using software analysis, you have here different. You have QDAS, qualitative data analysis software, and you have in vivo. You have Max QDA. No? But what are the benefits of using these software tools? First, it helps you to efficiently manage your data. It organizes transcripts, notes, and media files in one place, and you can just ask. You can just ask, and then it automates coding. Identify keywords and patterns, but also, of course, they just identify, but also maintains researcher input. And like in vivo, use have this feature of visualization tools, when you can make use of word clouds, cluster maps, and coding matrices for data analysis. And of course, another thing is you have an audit trail. You can track all coding and analytical decisions for transparency. That is the advantages of having a using software tools. But if you use software tools, you have to make sure that you have a licensed software for this. You do not use cracked software or pirated software. You use licensed, because some of the reviewers will ask you if your software is licensed, and they will really ask you for the license number, because they do not encourage using pirated uh, software tools. Yeah, so you can either use the traditional way, which is for me more reliable, because you are the one being immersed in the data, or you can use the software tools for qualitative analysis that is available online at a reasonable price. Like in vivo is around 80,000 pesos. So I don't know with Max QDA and QDAS. I do not know about this, but in vivo I was when I was still in the center, we were actually canvassing, because we wanted to purchase this software, but we lack budget, because it's around 80,000 pesos for this software. So now, how do we ensure rigor and trustworthiness in the data analysis for phenomenological research? And this is also very important. First, you have what we call triangulation. Now, what is triangulation? Now, in qualitative research, you use multiple data sources, methods, or theories to cross-check findings and ensure that themes are well supported. For example, triangulating interview data with observations and document analysis can provide a more comprehensive understanding of the phenomenon. Now, based on our discussion, we do not use triangulation uses one data collection method. Now, that's why in phenomenological research, as suggested a while ago in the previous slide, in the previous discussion, we have in-depth interview, we have participant observation, we have reflective essays, we can also field observations. This number of data collection methods ensures triangulation. This makes sure that there's rigor and trustworthiness, because you did not use only one data collection method. So with using several methods, somehow cross-check the validity of the data that you've got from the other method, from a certain method. Then another is member checking. So After the initial analysis, you share the findings with participants. No? This is a common problem, no, for all of us, because once we already have the initial analysis, we do not go back to our participants. We believed immediately that the data that we have is already accurate. No? But we have to member check. No? We have to share these findings with our participants to confirm the accuracy and the resonance of the interpretations. Now, these steps ensures that what we have put there are participant voices and are authentically represented. Now, because there's a possibility that we can have a mistake, no? And that is not what is being meant by the participant. No? So we have to go back to them. Another is reflexivity. You know? So while doing the data analysis, you have to make sure and engage yourself in ongoing self-reflection, to identify and address potential biases, no, that they may influence the research process. No? So every time that you have data analysis, you check on your bias, no? You self-reflect, and make sure that the data, the analysis that you are doing do not include your biases. No? Another thing to ensure rigor and trustworthiness is thick description. No? You provide a detailed context, detailed descriptions of the context, participants, and findings, no? To allow readers to understand the experiences being studied. No? Thick descriptions enhances the transferability of the findings to other contexts. No? So, um, as a reader, I will be more convinced that you really did fieldwork if you are able to describe it thickly, no, more in detail, no more in detail, not just a very short one. And then lastly, another way to ensure rigor and trustworthiness is peer debriefing. Peer debriefing, you engage your colleagues or experts in the field to review and critique the analysis process and findings. So you ask your colleagues from the department, your fellow researchers, or somebody who is already familiar with phenomenological research to look at your work, no? And to seek feedback, no? To make sure validity. No? Because as they read, based on experience, they will somehow, oh, this is weak, no? Or this could not be the interpretation that the participant would like. No, this is a different experience. So somehow this peer debriefing will help you make sure that what you have written, no, in your data analysis is valid and true, no? And that your bias has also been set aside, no, for that matter. Now, to conclude, phenomenological data analysis involves systematic steps, no, as discussed, no, from coding to synthesizing. And also, you can use software tools that can enhance efficiency and rigor in the analysis. And of course, you can use both. No, you can use traditional and you can use the software tools. But it depends on you, no, on how you will play with both. And then you employ strategies like triangulation, reflexivity, and member checking, no, to ensure trustworthiness of your research. No? This is very important in qualitative research. No? Triangulation, no? Very important, and reflexivity, so that there's no bias in that. So that's why in qualitative research, seldom would you find a single data collection method being used in the research study. No? It should be 2 to 3 or 4 as much as possible. No? In my field in anthropology, we have so many data. No? We have key informant interviews, we have informal interviews, we have participant observation, we have field walks, we have a hanging out stage, no? To make sure that data is triangulated, to make sure that data is authentic, no? And of course to avoid our biases, no? To speak, to be, but our biases to be heard in a paper that not for us, no, but a paper that whose focus is to retell the experiences and the stories of those who have experienced of lived experiences with the phenomenon. Okay, so this is the how you will analyze your data, in phenomenological research. Again, if you have questions, you can put it down in the comment section.